Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Dr. Joshua Kolawole. I'm a global transformational leadership trainer. And today I just want to come to you to discuss dealing with life's complexities. So life can have some paradox complexes sometimes where you have a lot of complexity on one end and you have a lot of simplicity on another end. Or in another way to put it, you can actually break down the complex dimensions of life into simpler units. So you can see a whole organism, big and complex as we are, we can be broken down into organ systems, into organs, and then from organs, you can break it down into tissues, from tissues into cells, from cells into even organelles within a cell. So today, I want to talk to you about complexity, and I want to told the dimension of complexity thinking and chaos science. So that we can pick one or two learning curve from them and be able to use it to apply to our lives in case you're going through some difficult, complex times and your goal is to find a way out of it to transform the outcomes that your life is able to generate. I said it many times. Some people live just one life, and in that single life, they are able to live multiple times, like getting the result of 10 lifetime in one single lifetime. And you have many people who just increase marginally all through their life, and the result they're able to generate are just the result of a single lifetime. So it's in your hand. The choices are yours. Do you want to keep making transforming choices that is able to birth massive outcomes, major leaping, and which are continuous across the journey of your life? Or you want to create a life that will just be continuously growing at a marginal level, and significantly, by the time you evaluate yourself with the growing inflationary trends and economic trends of the world, there's practically not so much difference in the growth that you have in your life. So the idea is to create a platform where you can actually grow and grow excellently well. So let me do some analysis, especially as it requires complexity thinking. Complexity thinking is a school of thought that speaks to the known unknowns, the unknown unknowns, and the uncertainties in our life. So one crucial thing, I need source of income. I need source of income that is able to generate excellent wealth for me, so that I can invest it and be able to grow. And I need that same source of income to so that I can take care of my day-to-day basic and social needs, right? So all these are an integral of what I need. That's one part of me. I need relationship. I need great relationship that are transformational. Okay, that's another part. Okay, I need the career part. I need the business to be developed. Okay, I have this health challenge and I need to deal with it. I need to face it head on. I have this just think about it, emotional issues, psychological issues. So we can think about, you can even bring it down to, I have these spiritual issues and I need to deal with it and head on. Now, in the way life presents its complexity, I've had someone, a leader, a thought leader, describe it as a tsunami before, where the wave of one is actually pounding on you and you can see the wave of the next one coming on at a frequency that is so dangerous, at a frequency that is so intensity that is so high, and you're wondering, would I be able to get through this? Would I be able to get through this until the next one pounds in? And like is it Les Brown used to say, you're either coming out of one, you're going into one, or you're in one already. So there's always one trouble for the moment, and this myriad of complexities could span across different aspects or sections of our life, different compartments of our life. And if we're not careful, we can even generalize them as a unique way to even describe ourselves, our identity. So one crucial thing in complexity thinking is you need to define an identity for yourself. You need to define who you want to be. Are you a great person or you want to be a small person? Because it's that identity that will determine the kind of response you provide in complex and chaotic situation, I mean. Now, let me give us a simple analysis. In terms of chaos and unpredictability, it's been said many a times that there are so many underlying patterns and structures that is not visible to you currently. If you embrace the concept of pursuing knowledge, if you're a dogged learner, you seek coaches, you seek mentors, you seek sponsors, you seek to learn from different platforms, what would happen to you is that light would get shone on those invisible patterns and structures that are around you or in your life that can actually help you over time to get you out of that chaos. So what am I saying in essence? If you embrace transformational learning that brings light, that brings life into you, and that's why you need to make a decision what kind of identity you want. Do you want to be a small person or you want to be a great person? For me, I've made up my mind to be great, and I'm willing to pay the prices of greatness. It's going to stretch me. It's going to cause some destabilization along the journey for me. I may have to be more patient than others. Where others are manipulating their way and getting results faster and quicker, I may have to do more to achieve to get a leap or to get more results. I may have to wait more. I may have to do more. I may have to study more. I may have to persevere more. I may have to even put in more resources. Sometimes I may even look like a fool because I will be investing in building character. But what I am actually going through is that latent phase where I'm building enough energy to break down the energy in those crystal lattices and be able to convert myself to the next state of matter. So the idea is that in complexity, when you're faced with challenging circumstance, the first thing you should clarify with the amount of light you have is, what is my identity? Am I a great person who is an overcomer, a problem solver? And I solve problem at the transformational rate. I'll give you an example. So I have this scenario where there's a colleague who is in deep financial trouble and he needed to start investing so that the next 2-3 years can become better. He can decide to choose to say, okay, I will pick up a course that in 3 months I will quickly just get out and I'll get paid a certain amount of money, let's say $10 an hour. And I can decide to go for another course that I will spend like 2 years on it. And by the time I'm done, I'll earn like $40 an hour. And I can also decide to say, I'll wait and go for a 4-5-year course. That would take me more patience, more investment of energy, more pain, a lot. But by the time I'm done, I'll be able to earn $60-$70 an hour. So if you see the 3 choices, they're actually good choices. But for someone who has made up their mind to be small, right, they probably may jump at the first choice, because it gives quick win. And that's the way of socialized mind. That's the way of many minds in our community. They just want the fastest way to relieve themselves of comfort. And the goal will be, by the time I'm done with the first layer, I will then go to the second layer. But you need to start paying attention. I just use that as an analogy. There are so many other decisions in our lives that are based on character, that are based on our pursuit of competence. When they say you need to study this YouTube video for 4 hours, are you willing to just go the 4 hours and even go 16 hours by reviewing the 4-hour video 4 times? Transforming Minds, who have made up their mind to be great, may review a 4-hour video. They may spend 25 hours going over it. The reason is that they are looking for depth. They are looking for depth. But for someone who has made up their mind to be small, what they just want to is to fulfill the requirement of that 4 hours. That is not the goal. That is the part of a small person. So you need to distinguish in your identity. Do I want to belong to the group of the small mind, who are socialized mind, who have made up their mind to run after the noise and not the signal? Or I want to make transformational choices. Once you make up your mind to make transformational choices, then it's good for you to listen to me. Because when you now listen to me, you must know that you're on a long-term agenda. And by long term, you will be able to leap the outcomes of your life and transform the social strata in which you will belong. So it will take you a longer time. It will take you more investment of energy per unit time compared to someone who is going on a short term. So for someone who is running a sprint, they can pour in all the energy in a short few 10 seconds and they're done. But for someone who is going on a marathon, they run with consistency. And that is the goal of excellence in transformational leadership, especially when you're faced with complexity. So in complexity, there are high degree of uncertainty, and maybe even outcomes are unexpected largely. And because of that uncertainty, that ambiguity, that volatility, it becomes a tensed environment where there's low agreement between you and even other stakeholders, and even among many stakeholders in that environment. So there is a lot of tense conversation, each person with its own opinion, interest, as it were. A lot of times there is low understanding of causal and associating factor. You don't even know how you got into the trouble, right? And that might even be more worrisome. But if you're calm enough and you can allow mentors, coaches to shed more light onto what you're going through, they will probably be able to show you the interrelationships of things that happened, and they will be able to show you that structural pattern, that if you can now hold on to those patterns that are transformative in their nature consistently, you will walk your way out of that tense scenario. And in a matter of months or weeks or even years, you would see that the outcomes of your life would be transformational, would be like a compound interest kind of outcome. And because there's high tension in the system, a lot of times the non-linearity of outcomes will not allow you to calmly see the directions. So because of that, I would urge you, when you are faced with complex life scenarios, seek knowledge, seek light, seek insight, seek in-depth pursuit of understanding. When you seek all these things consistently, use it to redefine your identity. Keep asking yourself, what are the transformational choices here? If you want, you could write them down on a visual board. And so you're able to say, okay, if I do this, this is faster, but it will get me out in 6 months. This is the next. It is a bit slower. It will get me out in 2 years. This is a bit slower. It might get me out in 5 years. But what am I willing to commit to? If I commit to this, what kind of outcome can it get for me? So for sometimes you see that the commitment of some people has actually capped them to be salary earners for life. It isn't bad to be a salary earner, but be a transformed salary earner who earns a bigger and who has a capacity to earn bigger. So I tell people, even if you pursue this, at this level, make another plan so that you can jump onto the next curve. The goal is to remain consistently in pursuit and to become great, but you must understand pattern. For you to understand pattern, you must seek life. For you to seek life, you must define the identity clearly. If you define your identity to be small, your choices will be choices of small people, less courageous, less consistency, and then lower outcomes in the long run. But if you choose to brand yourself as a great mind, as an excellent mind, as a transformed mind, if you choose that my pathway is the pathway of the great, and that's the price I'm willing to pay, though you may be delayed because you will need patience and perseverance to build strength, to build focus, to build that consistency, to build the strength of maturity, and to be able to stand firm in position for transformation. Because you are going to have to do this, it may take a longer time. Your colleagues may seem like they have overtaken you, but by the time you leap, when your colleagues are moving from a 2 to a 3 to a 4, you are leaping from a 2 to a 20. And by then, you will now see clearly why, though you appear delayed, you're actually way better. And you're more foundationally built. You have a lot of fundamentals under you. You have a lot of fundamental understanding, a lot of fundamental strength. That is the way of transformation. And I hope you keep listening to me. Thank you so much. I am Dr. Joshua Kolawole. I am from Valdymas Intelligence. And if you like to talk to a coach, a mentor, you can reach out to us via all our platforms, and we'll be glad to do excellent work with you. Thank you. Bye.